If you're able to do so, still have a certain focus, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You still need to have a certain focus where you're good at and go for that route, but still try to tap in several disciplines within an organization, because that will help you to be stronger in conversation, also in convincing in a very much male-dominated world, because they are rational.
Yeah.
And you need to convince them with real things, you know, with a vision, with a kind of structure.
Yeah.
And not the emotional aspect. That comes later.
Yeah. So first you need a huge plan with a lot of numbers and a lot of points to discuss, and then they feel comfortable, and then you can come up with your greater vision and your pictures.
The stronger you feel, the more comfortable you come across, because in the end you are your equity. It's your business idea, your product or service is great, but you are the one who's going to pitch in front of the venture capital. Do I think that technology can replace humans overall? No. I do think when it comes to products, for example, there I see the benefit of replacing, but it opens also a lot of new jobs.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other side, and we need to help educate, especially the people who are a little bit older, to help them being part of this, because otherwise we're creating a very big grey bubble.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that can, in the long run, economically not be very beneficial. And that is something where I'm also a little bit afraid of, like, hey, how will that transition phase go? So.
You mentioned models, role models and mentors. Can you name some of them?
Well, one of them is also my business partner. Where he's coming from, his background, I respect him a lot. I admire him a lot for what he's doing, and also what he has achieved in life. So he's a very good mentor for me as well in helping me, for example, on the finance or finance-related side. So he is one of my mentors where I really look up to, and but also my partner. So we have a very good, I think, understanding and relationship together. And the other one is my grandmother, because she's been very instrumental in setting up another business, an own business, actually in a time that women were not allowed to have a business or basically looked down on them much more. And why do I respect her a lot? Because I think she really outsmart business. For what I just said, never forget what I learned from my father. Never forget anyone. My father is a very social human being. Even though he had that position, he never forgot anyone. He knew everyone, and everyone knew my father. And that is something I like for myself as well. I want to be this person, this open, that people feel like they can talk to me, because I want to talk to them too. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned from him, you know, to be open and perceptive. Yeah, the best thing I think I can say is don't be afraid for failure. When you fail in life, push yourself further. Try, when you set the bar there and you've hit a certain milestone, raise the bar a little bit higher, you know, and see how that feels. See how that experience can be.
Without failure, there is no growing. No growth.
Otherwise, you stop from growing, and it's also how I treat myself. Like try to read the right articles, but also talk to your friends, for example. That your friends can be so instrumental in providing you the right information. If you come to the point that you have something that can really change whatever, you need to get the right support wherever you can take it. And if the government or the business world is not able to supply that, then these unicorns fade away. Or it's just a matter of time till someone else has came up with the idea and made it better or bolder, etc. And I think that's an unfair advantage, you know. And I think in Austria they could do much more to help young entrepreneurs in giving them that push, but also be realistic. Also tell them when things are going wrong. Don't be too kind. You know, give them good feedback. It can be harsh, can maybe be too straightforward, but they will learn from it one way or another. Maybe they're not happy about it, but eventually they will change. Because you planted a little seed in someone's brain.
I was told that you are a really passionate person, and I now that I met you and talked to you, it's true. It's so much you have to give, and
thank you.
It comes all out of your body and your eyes and your mouth. So it's really fantastic to have you. What drives you?
That's a good question. What drives me? What's my motor?
Yeah.
Well, basically, my end goal is I want a bigger change. All that I'm doing is not personally for myself. I realize that the only reason why we got rich in the Western society is over the back of a lot of other people, and I want to change that vehicle. I'm not too sure how I'm going to do that, but my end goal is not personal enrichment.
Okay.
I like to yeah, what I want to do is really change, but it needs to be a sustainable solution. Here comes the difficulty for me. It needs to be a sustainable solution, and I don't believe in just having a fund and then just provide food and nutrition, which is important.
Yeah.
But what is more important is education. Give people a proper education, because there they can make a change, and then they are able to also help themselves and sustain their own families. That's the true power in this world.
Yeah.
With the right focus, stay focused. That's the most important thing. Whatever you do, have the right focus, and the rest outsource this or work together with other people who can help you with the things you're not too good in.
Yeah.
And then I think and I believe you're able to reach to that point where you want to be. And I may believe very strongly in what we're doing, because I really believe that we can help other people. I really believe we've got a very strong team, we've got a very strong network, and that's basically where we make the difference.
Yeah.
It's not the money. You know, the money has been spent out quite fast, especially when they're coming close to break-even point. It becomes even more difficult. But what's the true gold is the network, is giving or providing your startups or your entity the platform that they can pitch in front of Mr. Very Important or Mr. Super Rich. Because they don't have these connections. They are not that established yet.
Okay.
And if we can help them with that, which I think is the biggest advantage of working with a venture capital, then we can come somewhere. Then we can become very big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can change something which is really, really important to you. What would it be?
Yeah, but it basically sums up what we've just discussed already. I think what I like to want to see changing is the mentality of how the male-dominated world, which it still is, look at women in business. That will be my magic dust, because if we can provide, like much more tools and support for women, then they are able to blossom in business, and then they are not, dropping out when they're 35 or in a later stage of life, because they're so important, like they can do so much, and also within an organization or a company. So yeah, that would be my magic dust, to change that way of how people think.
Okay.
And give us much more support in that sense. Yeah.
Marloes, thank you so much for
Thank
our
you
talk.
too.
It was really, really a pleasure, and I learned really, really so much. This is so great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to hear that. Thank you
for
so
your
much.
time. I hope we see each other again.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Danke.
Thank you.